Welcome, Patriots, to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, and we are streaming live to millions worldwide on YouTube, plus our freedom fighters on Rumble and X. And as you're watching right now, make sure you're following us on all platforms because we're on YouTube, but we're also on Rumble and X. We need you to go there when Big Tech tries to silence us. And before we dive into today's explosive news, let me remind you what makes the Raw Feed a different type of show. We don't just talk at you, we talk with you. Your reactions, your comments, your passion, that is what fuels the show. So fire up those keyboards because we want to hear from you throughout the entire broadcast. And if you got something to say and you want me to see it, send in those super chats and Rumble rants right now. We'll be featuring them on screen between segments for the world to see, even if you send them before we officially start. We're watching, and we're going to get them up there. So text the stream to your friends right now. Bypass the algorithm completely. X-viewers, repost this show to your followers. We need maximum reach because what we're about to expose will shock America. You want to show off your favorite news source? Check out our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. We've got Alligator Alcatraz, President Otto Penn, our badass American series that will let everybody know where you stand. For those ready to take it to the next level, join our YouTube channel memberships. Each tier comes with its own perks, special acknowledgement in the chat, exclusive access to the Next News team, behind-the-scenes content, and access to our members-only 24/7 Discord where the conversation never ends. And speaking of support, if you want to back this show privately, you can hit those donation links in the description. We are 100% viewer-funded, which means we answer to you, not the corporate overlords. Now, a quick history lesson. On this day in 1961, East German troops began building the Berlin Wall, a monument to communist oppression that divided families and crushed freedom for 28 years. And today, we're watching another kind of wall come down. The wall between the American people and the truth about what's happening in our capital, our culture, and our kids' online spaces. So here's what's coming up. Trump's military is literally occupying D.C. with Humvees and bulldozers. Roblox, yes, that kids game, now being exposed as a predator playground, putting millions of kids at risk. Is yours one of them? And the Smithsonian is getting a patriotic makeover. Gavin Newsom's declaring war on democracy itself, and Democrats are having complete mental breakdowns on live TV. We've got it all. Now, this is not just news. This is your news. This is where we strip away the propaganda and get real about what's threatening our republic. From homeless encampments being bulldozed near the Lincoln Memorial to kids being targeted by predators on gaming platforms, we're covering what matters to your family. In the establishment media, they won't touch these stories. They're too busy defending the status quo, protecting their political allies, and pushing narratives that keep you in the dark. But not here. Not on the Raw Feed. So buckle up, Patriots. Share the stream. Get your friends watching. And remember, they can try to silence us, but they can try to cancel us. But as long as you keep showing up, we'll keep bringing you the unfiltered truth. So let's get into it. The news starts now, and let's welcome you to the show. We got East Dallas in the house. We got Karen. We've got Sure You in the house. He says the weather sucks. The one and only is here. Rumblebot, as always, never misses a show. We got Eric Winslow. Who else is in the house? Make sure you sound off because this is your moment to shine. I want to hear from you. I want to know where you're watching from. I want to know what kind of device you're watching on. Is it a TV? Is it a smartphone? Is it a PC? Is it a TV in the corner of your shop where you're working? I want to hear how you are tuning in. We got Matt Schaefer, Cindy Myers. Kim Wieg is here. Yes, East Dallas. Alice, this is actually live. This is not live, East Dallas says. That's funny. No, it is live, actually. Greetings to all, says Jose. Pirate X Daddy in the house. We got WB, Gary, Matt Schaefer. Who else is here? Pothead Kenny. What's up? Dropping a 5 spot early on in the game. We haven't even started the show yet. He says, thank you for all. Thank you all. Thank you to all of you for the wishes. I'll be starting daily exercising on Discord from 11 a.m. Eastern. Join. I'm better than Richard Simmons. Richard Simmons. We got Charlotte in Texas on the smartphone. Who else is here? Let me see. Kentucky on the phone, on a TV. Mrs. Pothead Kenny. Double dipping. Joy Lynn from Alabama, my first live. Well, welcome to the show, Joy. Well, Gen X trying to pass some kidney stones. Ooh, yeah, that's not fun. We got Hefner, lost in Middle America, Ohio. And East Dallas is asking if I heard the new spin song for the lefties. No, I haven't, but you can feel free to shoot me a message. Maybe I'll get it. You can message me on X. And John says, my vagina itches in Minneapolis. And Tim Wall says, hi. What are you guys doing to me today? We got Tracy from Illinois. What's up, Tracy? I'm in Illinois, too, so I feel the pain. Sweet Jenna Rainbows. My Gary just had cancer surgery. They got it all. Amen. That is a praise report. Let's keep praying for remission and complete healing there. We got Michael Jones in Virginia Beach. We got JR's in Clear Lake, California. Patty Fritz in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Who else is here? Come on, sound off. This is your moment. Anything you want to say, the floor is open. We got Captain Slack from Phoenix. Stop smoking. Still very hot. Oh, you stopped smoking. Good for you. Or is it smoking in Phoenix? Who else is in the house? We got Pothead Kenny here. What's up? Okay. Mike's son is here. Nancy on the cell phone in Washington. Michael Jones. The gang is all here. Miami, Mimi, two boys from Shithole, California. JR's watching on an Apple TV with probably a Sony 49-inch. Nice. We got a quitter, John Porton. We got Cindy and Nancy and all the folks are here. Linda Lane, I appreciate you, she says. Well, thank you. We appreciate you and your contribution of $10 to the Next News Network. Now, let's get into our stories because I know you guys want to hear what's happening. We've got it all. We've been spending all morning collecting all the information that you need to know. But first, a historical trivia question. In 1968, how many troops did LBJ deploy to D.C. after MLK's assassination? A, 13,600 soldiers. B, 50 mall cops. C, one very angry general. Or D, just the White House chef. I'll let you answer that in the chat or the comments or in the poll. We're going to get that up for you right now. We'll find out the answer after this segment. Right now, as we speak, military vehicles are rolling through Washington, D.C. Bulldozers are tearing down homeless camps. Federal agents are establishing checkpoints, but this isn't some third world coup. This is President Trump's bold move to restore order to our nation's capital. The images are stunning. The reactions are explosive. And what's happening on the ground might just shock you. Democrats are calling it an occupation, predictably. Residents who've lived through years of violence are calling it salvation. In the mainstream media, they can't figure out which narrative to push. One thing is for sure, D.C. will never be the same after what's unfolding right now, so stay locked in. And if you're getting close to retirement or just thinking ahead, you've probably done a solid job of saving, but here's something most people don't consider. How much of that money is just sitting in cash? Well, it might feel safe, but holding too much cash guarantees only one thing: you are losing purchasing power. Inflation eats away at it, and the dollar's value keeps slipping, and that's why more people are looking at real assets like physical gold and silver to protect their savings. And one company makes it easy: Noble Gold Investments. You can buy gold or silver, coins or bars, and have them shipped directly to your home or actually stored securely. It's a smart way to convert cash into something that actually holds value. Now, Noble Gold, they're fair, they're transparent, and they don't pressure you, just solid information and real options. They've been a sponsor of this program for many, many years. We support them. We hope you will too. Visit nextnewsgold.com. The link's in the description, or you can call 877-646-5347. And when you talk to Colin, tell him Gary said hello. Okay, so we're getting some the first images of the day. Check this out. Here's a Humvee. This is from Ford Fisher, the great Ford Fisher. News to Share, posting this. Quote, "Don't let them do this to you," a man just now yelled at National Guard troops patrolling Washington, D.C. "These are your own citizens. These are homeless people. You have an obligation to refuse." They drove by.
These are your own fucking citizens. These are homeless people. You guys are fucking crook. Don't let them do this to you. It's abusive to you, and now you're gonna get fucked when you're fucked up and you have to go to the VA and they cut all your services. Refuse now. Do not do this. You have the obligation to refuse unlawful orders. Okay?
So they're on their way to go and remove some homeless encampments. Obviously, you have a lone liberal screaming into the wind, thinking that he's going to make a difference. But President Trump is on a mission. And so is that white bus you saw following that Humvee, on a mission to remove those homeless people, put them in a bus, and take them to an actual proper shelter. Perhaps that raging liberal missed that point, because that's exactly what President Trump has said he will do. These people are going to be removed from the streets, and the monuments and the areas will be cleaned up, and so will the homeless people. Caroline Levitt, we got this. She posted just a couple hours ago. She writes, "Democrats want to coddle violent criminals. President Trump wants to put them behind bars. Americans reject the Democrats' soft on crime policies and overwhelmingly support president's efforts to restore law and order." Let's check in with the press secretary on Fox.
65, according to a Washington Post poll, 65% of D.C. residents say that crime is a very serious problem in the District of Columbia. And while Democrats want to rant and rave and coddle criminals, President Trump wants to put them behind bars. And that's what this task force is focused on doing for the next 28 days. According to a Washington Post.
For the next 28 days. However, President Trump has stated that he will implore Congress to extend that, because 28 days is just not enough to clean up the streets and create some stability. If all the criminals know that everyone's leaving in 28 days, they're just going to hold out. They're going to wait. Crime's going to continue. Here's the president in the Oval Office just a few hours ago saying people are happy.
People are so happy to see our military going into D.C. and getting these thugs out. As you know, we arrested a lot of people yesterday. We arrested a lot of people today. We're getting people that have arrest records that you wouldn't believe. 28 arrests, 15 arrests, brutal people. And we're going to have to do something about this cashless bail. People are so happy to see our military.
Cashless bail, of course, is it's a scourge on the cities. We have it here in Illinois. Here's C.J. Pearson happening now. Homeless encampments are now being bulldozed in Washington, D.C. near the Kennedy Center and Lincoln Memorial. Turns out you can just end the squalor in our cities. Check out this footage. Into the dumpster it goes. I wonder how many people have avoided going to Washington, D.C. just because of the squalor and trash and homeless problem and crimes. Here's a reporter from Lindell TV. It looks like Kara getting reposted by RNC Research. She asked the question, do you agree with President Trump federalizing D.C. for 30 days? Talking to a D.C. resident. Let's listen.
Save to live. Are you from the area of D.C.? Are you a tourist?
Born and raised.
So you're born and raised in D.C. Are you here are you working in the area or just tourist right now?
I work not far from here.
Where do you, if you don't have to tell me, but where do you work?
I work at a law firm
Oh, well, so you're an attorney?
No, but I assist.
Oh, cool. So what are your thoughts? Today we're talking about D.C. crime rates. Is it safe to live in D.C.? Do you agree with President Trump federalizing for 30 days to sort of stamp down on crime? What are your thoughts?
I agree with it. I was born and raised in the district, and I've never seen the things that I see today with children as young as 3 years old being shot. I mean, where does that happen? I think it's a bad idea to fear what this president is doing. I mean, he actually lives in the city now. I mean, come on. He would be foolish, I think, to ignore things like that. A child, 3 years old, being shot, or people being shot on the bus. I mean, that happened in upper northwest Washington, D.C.
Well, that's not going to happen anymore, especially if Trump is able to extend the 28 days. Here we have another clip here. When you hear from city leaders and others that crime is actually down, are you seeing that?
The violence.
You hear from city leaders and others that crime is actually down. Are you seeing that?
No, I'm not seeing it. We're seeing carjackings, the violence in the communities. So we were advocating then for the National Guard to come out, but they said there was no need. But think about how many lives could have been saved just having them on the scene.
And Asia says still to this day, she's not heard from one detective about those crimes committed against her family. Now, for Tempe Satcher, another D.C. resident, her son BJ was gunned down in a random drive-by shooting on the way to work 2 years ago, and she does not feel that crime has calmed down.
Just today, a young lady was shot over on 15th Street in Northeast D.C. Does that seem like crime gone down? With all the things that are going on with our president, sending the National Guards out, I don't have a problem with that personally, because if MPD can't do it and they need help, then I'm glad they're able to get the help.
D.C. residents clearly in favor of President Trump's move. Here we have some more video of that bulldozer. President Trump is serious. This is live footage of the homeless encampment being bulldozed.
Okay, podcast. What we're watching right now is, I guess, a bulldozer or an earth mover or a device that is moving things in Washington, D.C. Okay, you got a little ambient noise right there. The homeless encampments are coming down. President Trump is serious about this. He's going to take the homeless encampments down. He's flooded the zone with troops and also park rangers and others, Border Patrol. Judge Janine actually indicted a guy yesterday. He's in the process of indicting a guy for a felony for throwing a sub sandwich at a Customs and Border guy and calling him a fascist right in his face. President Trump said no more spitting on him. Those days are over. President Trump's finished playing games. He's going to clean out Washington, D.C., and then he's going to get the graffiti off the buildings and the monuments. And people spraying monuments, like he said, he went back. There's a 200-year-old law. It's 10 years in prison. He's had enough of it. The Washington, D.C., and anybody will tell you this, progressive Democrats, everybody, it's a hellhole. It's become a hellhole. So the Democrats can argue on the margin, the statistics are down. Go argue your statistics all day long. Right there, it's coming down. This is action. Same action you got to take at these institutions. You have to go in, field strip them, purge them of all the bad actors, and then rebuild them, rejuvenate them, etc. We're going to have more about this. I got Wade Miller coming up.
So the dismantling continues throughout Washington, D.C. Let's check in with Scott Jennings. Nails a Democrat to the wall for opposing safer streets in D.C. You got to love Scott Jennings for going into the Lion's Den every day in CNN.
Department. They need. Well, what about that idea? What about the idea that this is, even if one supports this effort, it's a Band-Aid, right? It's not like hiring 500 additional cops in D.C.
And I think they do have a staffing shortage in the D.C. Police Department. They need to fix that. I don't know what's authoritarian about putting some extra eyes and ears on the street, getting criminals off the street to keep people from being murdered and carjacked. Nobody in their right mind believes Washington, D.C. is safe. And to say the president's trying to help us keep people from getting murdered and carjacked and we have to stop this authoritarian push, it's just sort of ridiculous rhetoric. These Democrats don't know what to do with themselves. Every time Donald Trump tries to do something, they reflexively feel the need to oppose it without thinking through the political implications for themselves.
You think Democrats are taking the bait?
Well, I think they're acting like idiots here. The city is crime-ridden. I saw a guy get murdered in Union Station in February at 4 in the afternoon. I saw the body hit the floor at the bottom of the escalator on the second floor. And so everybody who visits there, everybody who lives there knows it's a serious problem. You have extra eyes and ears. They've arrested criminals. They're getting illegal guns off the street. People feel safer. Tourists feel safer. What is the problem?
Exactly. Well, what is the problem? It's just the fact that you got Trump derangement syndrome running wild. President Trump literally cleaning up the streets, and Democrats are complaining. Here we have Christopher Webb posting this. I hope your community is never occupied like LA or DC, but if it is, you'll quickly find that people don't take kindly to having their city under federal control, and folks are just getting started. Clearly, Christopher Webb, not in favor of cleaning up the streets. He posted a video here. Protesters gathering near a checkpoint in the U Street corridor in Northwest Washington.
Turn left! Get off our streets! Get off our streets! Get off our streets! Get off our streets! Why won't you show your face? Like you look yourself in the mirror and think I did a good job today? Go left! Go left! Turn left! Turn left!
Trying to get people to turn left to not go down 14th Street. There's a random search right now. They've pulled over about 6 cars. We've seen 2 people get detained, one by ICE, one by the police. Taken, no rhyme or reason.
Go left! Turn left! Hey! Turn left! Go left! Work harder than me? Absolutely! Still got time to do this, and I'm a fucking fed! Listen, you motherfuckers! You guys had a reason to stop working hard in the first place? Huh? Or you guys speak up their rights?
Looks like somebody just found out, right? Getting their car towed in the wrong place at the wrong time. I wonder what their crime was. Here we have Johnny Maga writing, Humvees currently surrounding Union Station in D.C., and a CNN reporter says less people are loitering outside. God bless Donald Trump. Bring this to every major city in America.
Basically, at each I walk by this train station every single day on my way to work, and I have not seen it like this. You can see a National Guard Humvee behind me, and we've seen, I don't know, Josh, if you can pan over, there are a couple National Guardsmen who are walking across the street over there. We have Humvees basically at each corner of the train station here on a fairly busy Thursday afternoon. And this is what you can expect here in the coming days. Let's pan over there. You can see another Humvee there. This is what you can expect over the next 30 days and possibly a lot longer after that, Jess, because we know just yesterday President Trump said that they are planning to indefinitely extend their federalization of MPD and really ramp up federal law enforcement resources here in the district. It's not just National Guard. We have also seen Homeland Security officers, DEA officers, Park Police. There were vehicles here just a little bit earlier. This is one of the areas of focus that we have heard a lot of concerns about, crime around Union Station, people who are loitering outside. I will tell you, as somebody who walks this route all the time, it does seem like there are fewer people just sort of hanging around. I walk by this train station.
And who were those people that were previously hanging around? Criminals waiting for an opportunity? Joe Scarborough, Charlie Kirk posting this. Joe Scarborough, 91% of black women say D.C. has too much crime. Al Sharpton, yeah, but Trump is a racist convicted criminal. And January 6th. He's asking, how is this man still employed in the year 2025?
Same last year than white residents and those with higher incomes. As they were last year, black women are among the most concerned, with 65% saying crime is a very or extremely serious issue, compared with 82% who said the same last year. Rev, I just bring this up just to say there are a lot of I'll just say it, white progressives who you've talked about and I've talked about, who sometimes think they're trying to help certain segments of the society, and they have no idea where they are. Well, right now in Washington, D.C., black women especially are deeply concerned about crime in their city. And I think it would behoove the Democratic Party to figure out how to build a partnership with the president, with the mayor, to make Washington a more secure city for the 91% of Washington residents who are saying today that crime is a serious problem.
Wow, Joe Scarborough trying to build a bridge? Let's listen to the race baiter Al Sharpton. Let's see what he has to say.
Well, it goes to the situation and problem that I've said to you and I discussed before, that people are talking for people they're not talking to. There is a concern among many blacks, if not most, and many residents in Washington, D.C. about crime. We have an office of National Action Network there, so I'm familiar with it. I go in and out. I talk to the people that work for NAN there, led by a woman, a black woman. But the question becomes how Trump is handling it. I think the problem is not that there's an argument about we need to deal with crime. Even though the data says it's going down, the perception and the reality is there. The question is, Donald Trump, the only convicted felon to ever sit in the White House, by the way, pardoned criminals who assaulted police, who threatened the life of the vice president, and did not reach out and try to meet with the mayor and local law enforcement and say, how do we work together to end crime?
Are you saying that Trump didn't offer National Guard on January 6th? Is that what you're saying?
Right. He just came in, said I'm taking over, and then announced I'm going to other cities, all of whom have black mayors.
Okay, sir. Yeah. So yeah, he doesn't have to go ask. Trump doesn't have to ask the mayor for permission. He doesn't have to go to the Washington police chief and say, do you mind if we bring in some troops to help you? No, he's the friggin' president. He makes the order. The order stands. It's a statute. It's on the books. You can't change that. He enacts it and takes action. So Sharpton, come on, man.
Criminals who assaulted police, who threatened the life of the vice president, and did not reach out and try to meet with the mayor and local law enforcement and say, how do we work together to end crime? He just came in, said I'm taking over, and then announced I'm going to other cities, all of whom have black mayors, Los Angeles, Oakland, Chicago, New York. I'm going after all these cities, not one Republican city, not one white mayor. So,
well, maybe that's because those cities have a problem. Maybe it's because their leadership has failed. Maybe it's because the crime is out of control in those cities. And they're run by Democrats who want to defund the police and enact no cash bail. Maybe that's the problem, Al. But you want to point to the color of the skin of the people in charge? I'll point to the policies, buddy.
Well, for people to suspect him and his motives and the way he does it is the problem. I think what leadership there should do is what Mayor Bowser said. They're willing to sit down with the administration, and anyone else should, and say, let's deal with the problem. But don't become the problem, and don't tell us on one hand you can sit January 6th and watch people beat up cops while you're sitting in the White House doing nothing, and then come back 5 years later and say I'm taking over the city.
And Rev, as you have spoken so often about communities of color that often will welcome more public safety efforts, but also sometimes have distrust of some of the police officers.
Oh man, what a bag of hot air that guy is. Oh, man. Al Sharpton never disappoints. Let's keep going. Oh, looks like we have some more from CNN's senior legal analyst, Ellie Honig, sides with Trump's actions in D.C., shocking Abby Phillip in the panel of liberals.
it's less bad. So I've worked extensively with police, and I don't have a problem tactically with what Donald Trump is doing here. He doesn't have to be the most dangerous place on earth. Something can be improving, but still really bad. If your house is on fire and then a third of the fire goes out, it's less bad, but it could still be an emergency. I work in D.C. It is dangerous there. You cannot deny that. And a common police tactic is to surge resources. We call them task forces. They're applauded across the board, across the political board. I've done it in New Jersey. I've done it in New York. You take the FBI, you team them up with the Newark PD, what have you. You make a visible presence. Now, is some of it for appearance and show? Yes, because what it does is A, it assures people. It gives people a bit of confidence and security. And B, it deters people from committing crimes. So it's not going to hurt, and this is a situation that needs to be improved. I don't see why there's a problem. And I also reject the January 6th. Look, I've been a 100% unambiguous critic of everything Donald Trump did on January 6th. I believe he should have been charged criminally. I believe the pardons were a disgrace. But why does that mean he can't do anything now to enforce the law to promote public safety?
I think it raises questions about the sincerity.
He's a hypocrite. Fine, he's a hypocrite.
But this is all political theater. None of this is going to fundamentally address the crime problem in D.C.
Would you rather have national security out in D.C. where you work?
How about bolstering local police and instead congressional Republicans cut?
You know, I've actually, you know, I go to Washington, D.C. I go to the White House. I cover what goes on there. I have walked from the White House to my hotel to where I'm staying. And I have seen insanity on those streets. I mean, straight up insanity. I'm talking about, I remember seeing a man walking down the middle of the street, screaming and yelling. And you couldn't even understand what he was saying. Clearly having a mental breakdown. I didn't know what this person was going to do next. Now, there was police on the street, and they were watching him going in the direction he was going. Eventually, he just stopped and, you know, whatever he was doing. But, I mean, I've seen just outrageous behavior in D.C. And President Trump is putting an end to that. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is more than homeless camps and crime stats. This is about whether American cities can be saved or whether we surrender them to chaos. For years, politicians told us nothing could be done. The decay was inevitable. The violence was just part of city life. Kids getting shot, though? That's the new normal? Well, Trump just proved them all wrong. In 24 hours, he's done what D.C. politicians claim was impossible for decades. The bulldozers are moving, the Guard deployed, and guess what? Now crime is already dropping. So here's my question for you. Should Trump federalize every major American city for 30 days to restore order? Drop a yes or no in the comments. This is exactly why they fear him, because he actually delivers results. If you want to show where you stand, you can check out our merch shop. It's linked down below. We've got gear that sends a message at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. All right, checking in. We got another super chat that came through from Cali Patriot. $5. Thank you, Cali Patriot. Let's see. Jocko James, the Dems donors are wearing thin for CNN. The one and only Ron the Don says, yes, kids getting shot. Were these the same black teens doing all the crime? Tyson says, hell yeah, Trump should. He should. If the cops in that city are not crooked, yes, says Kibbs. And Karen dropping a link to the merch shop. And Pilot Kenny loves his hat. We love you too. All right, let's get the answer to that question. You guys said 13,600 soldiers. You were correct. LBJ deployed the most troops to D.C. since the Civil War after Martin Luther King's assassination riots. And now we're going to move into something that might hit you a little closer to home. There was a post from the Vigilant Fox that I felt was very important to present. All right. First, a trivia question. What year did Congress first investigate video games for corrupting youth? Was it A, 1993 after Mortal Kombat, B, 1982 when Pac-Man ate ghosts, C, 2001 after Grand Theft Auto, or 1975 when Pong got too violent? You can drop your answer in the poll, in the comment, or in the chat below. But we're going to get into this topic now. We're going to get your answer to this after the segment. Parents, what I'm about to tell you might make you grab your kid's device right now. A gaming platform with 380 million users, many of them children, is under fire for something so disturbing that Congress is now demanding answers. We're talking about games where adults and kids enter virtual showers together, where predators create spaces designed to lure minors, where safety controls have failed so badly even the platform's biggest stars are walking away in protest. This isn't some dark web horror story. This is happening on a mainstream platform your kids probably use every single day. The evidence is overwhelming, the danger is real, and what we've uncovered will make you rethink everything about online gaming. So don't look away. And while we're protecting our kids online, we also need to protect ourselves from the stress that this digital age brings. As parents, we're aging faster than ever, worry lines, sleepless nights, monitoring our children's internet use, the constant anxiety. That visible stress, it shows up as wrinkles, sagging skin, and premature aging. And by our 40s, collagen levels drop significantly. That's why I've relied on ageless multi-collagen for years. It includes 5 key types of collagen from 4 premium sources, perfectly blended into hydrolyzed peptides your body absorbs easily. While you're safeguarding your family's digital life, don't forget to take care of yourself. Every order helps feed hungry children through NoKidHungry.org. Get 51% off at healthwithgary.com because strong parents raise safe kids. So we got some news here that you need to be made aware of. Parents now concerned about the increase of predators on Roblox. Is this a game your children play? Listen to this.
My kid told me.
Roblox. Millions of kids play it, but predators and inappropriate content are slipping through. We spoke to parents, kids, and experts.
I thought it was harmless until my kid told me about a game where avatars were doing things.
Some random dude kept following my daughter's avatar around. It was creepy.
You can just search and find games that are definitely not for kids. It's way too easy.
I don't know who Roblox is, but they ought to be ashamed of themselves.
Back in the day, the only predators we had were raccoons. Now they got to watch out for them online, even on that Roblox thing.
I deleted Roblox off their devices the moment I found out. No way I'm letting them play that. There's just too much bad stuff slipping through.
Predators thrive when parents aren't watching. Be involved. The more you engage with what they're playing, the safer they'll be.
Turn off in-game chat for young kids. Check their friends list weekly and keep devices in shared spaces so you can see what's happening.
Our children's safety online depends on all of us. Let's stay aware and stay safe.
You know what's interesting is that entire segment was clearly an AI-generated video, but the message rings true. That there are predators online and they're stalking your children. Now, this is the thread that was brought to my attention today by Vigilant Fox. Okay, Vigilant Fox posted this, and I want to go through this thread because it's pretty shocking, especially if you have small children who are playing this game. They write here, the Roblox child predator problem just got weirder. A major company with 380 million monthly users is siding with predators over children. It sounds unthinkable until you see what Roblox is doing. The story is so disturbing, you'll feel sick knowing that it's real. Every so often, a story comes along that's so outrageous you can't even fathom it being real. Yet something deeply disturbing is happening in the Roblox universe, and everyone with a pulse needs to know about it. Every month, 380 million users log into Roblox, a massively popular mobile and console game among children. The platform boasts more custom-made games from users than you could ever count, giving Roblox virtually infinite replayability. However, some of these custom games have become a magnet for child predators. A horrific example is XYZ Public Bathroom Simulator, a game where it's commonplace to see naked avatars, predators, showering with kids. That is the entire premise of the game, according to 22-year-old Roblox YouTuber Real Schlep. 7.4 million users, mostly children, have been exposed to filth, and it's still widely available for anyone to join. This is a screenshot of the game called XYZ Public Bathroom Simulator. Hangout. I hang out. Maturity rating is moderate. Description. Welcome to the Publico Bathroom Simulator I Hang Out, a place to have fun and meet new people. Use the toilet, wash your hands, have fun with friends and meet people, tag swimming pool vibe, update, blah, blah, blah. Now, the YouTuber Real Schlep has been exposing how there's so many predators on the Roblox platform that is actually unreal, and parents aren't aware of it. Now, this is not AI. This is actually this is the YouTuber setting an alarm.
If I was there are games on Roblox like XYZ Public Bathroom Simulator. Has about 7 million visits, and the whole premise of the game is showering together with kids. That is the whole game. If you join it, you're going to see predators, you're going to see naked avatars, you're going to see people peeing and all this sort of weird stuff. If I was a parent and I saw that, I would be outraged. I would be totally outraged. And parents aren't aware of this, and it's so sad. I get emails from kids daily about all the horrible stuff that they're exposed to. I get emails from parents talking about what their kids were exposed to. And there are so many predators on this platform. It is actually unreal. There are games on Roblox like XYZ.
According to Real Schlep, his efforts have even led to the arrest of 6 different child predators over the past year, something he says law enforcement is glad when people give them this information. Here's one of those arrests in action.
So this is the manual Coronado. Coronado. He came here to meet what he thought was a 13-year-old girl.
Go to jail for this.
Yeah, it is an offense to do so, yeah. Especially sending explicit messages like that, yeah.
Please, man, I know. Is there some sort of, I don't want to go to jail, some rehabilitation program, anything at all?
Not that I can provide to you.
Jeez, man.
Last week, committed Charles Bush and Robert Bush and Nora.
You sure it's not been us?
But right now you are detained, so based on me being a police officer, you are not free to leave based on the facts that we have and stuff like that. Okay? Go ahead and take a seat for me right here, please.
So this is the manual.
Roblox predators being arrested in real time. So how did Roblox respond to Real Schlep? Well, he was helping get predators on their platform arrested. The company sent him a cease and desist letter, terminated all of his accounts. A glaring example where reporting a crime is punished more harshly than the crime itself. They write, I urge you to take less than 2 minutes out of your day to listen to this full video. Listen.
Say here on I have just gotten a legal complaint from Roblox. I'm not even joking. They have sent a cease and desist letter to me, and they've gone ahead and banned every account I own. And you might be wondering, what heinous crime did you commit to possibly deserve that? Well, what I did was get predators arrested on their platform. Actually, 6 of them. I got 6 predators arrested within the Roblox community. Some of them, the crimes are so heinous, I can't even say here on TikTok or wherever this is going. And the thing that's crazy about it is that Roblox has taken a more firm action against me, a person getting these people arrested, a person that law enforcement has made public statements saying that they are glad when people like me go ahead and give them information so that they can arrest these people. Roblox has sent me the cease and desist letter, not these predators. That is absolutely insane. And the other thing that's crazy about this is Roblox itself. It is a predator haven. There are games on Roblox like XYZ Public Bathroom Simulator. That's about 7 million visits, and the whole premise of the game is showering together with kids. That is the whole game. If you join it, you're going to see predators, you're going to see naked avatars, you're going to see people peeing and all this sort of weird stuff.
Continuing right along here, according to India Times, Roblox accused Real Schlepp of sharing or soliciting personally identifiable information. He was gobsmacked and wondered if Roblox was referring to the practice of turning over the information of predators to police, saying, like, does Roblox even understand that? They accused him of sharing or soliciting personally identifiable information. He defended his actions, saying his efforts were in good faith, aligned with the same tactics used by law enforcement. Here's a post that he made. Roblox has tripled down on their latest newsroom post, outrageously comparing me to actual predators because my decoys tell adults that they're children. We use the same tactics that the FBI, ICAC, and local police departments use in their own operations to catch predators. Similar to actual predators, they often impersonate minors. Schlepp has drawn overwhelming community support, with most users siding with him over Roblox. On a Reddit thread, Games, one Redditor delivered a scathing statement on the Schlepp case, receiving the most upvoted comment. History is proven again and again. It's infinitely easier for corporations to silence and censor whistleblowers than actually work on fixing whatever issue they're bringing attention to. Roblox doesn't have a child predator issue if no one's able to report on it. The fact that Schlepp's investigations led to 6 actual arrests made by the police acting on outside evidence is proof enough his efforts are not misguided. Roblox bans and threatens to sue predator hunter YouTuber Schlepp. India Times also reported that when Schlepp was younger, he was groomed by a Roblox developer, hence why he's so determined to expose these child predators. His mother filed a complaint with Roblox, but they brushed her off, and the predator continued abusing others for years before being banned. Schlepp was so traumatized by the experience, he even made that. He writes, he manipulated me, exposed me to gore and not safe for work material. I was so bad. This all happened under David Baszucki's watch, who's been Roblox CEO for 21 years. He's been oddly silent on the Schlepp fiasco. In March of this year, he brushed off parents' concerns about safety, saying, if you're not comfortable, don't let your kids be on Roblox. I wonder if he went to Epstein Island. While he has been silent, Roblox has been attempting to justify nuking Schlepp's accounts and condemning vigilante justice against child predators, but the backlash has been fierce, with Roblox even receiving a community note on their X post stating they have a known history of being ineffective at keeping their game safe from child predators. Here is the post that Roblox made. For transparency, we're sharing more information about our decision to remove vigilantes from Roblox. You see that? They want to remove vigilantes and not the child predators. Here's the community note. Roblox moderation system has a known history of being ineffective, hence the existence of vigilante groups. Most, if not all, of their claims can be easily debunked by watching a simple YouTube video and doing some short research. Optics have gotten so bad for Roblox that American lawmakers are now getting involved. On Wednesday, Representative Ro Khanna, a Democrat out of California, issued a public statement condemning Roblox for not doing enough to protect kids from child predators. Let's watch.
As you know, there is a growing issue in our country with Roblox, an online gaming platform, and the abuse of children. Roblox is simply not doing enough to protect our kids, to inform parents, and to go after child predators. As you know, I have been leading the fight for the full release of the Epstein files. I believe in transparency, and I believe in protecting our children. Today, I'm calling on people to sign a petition. Let's get to 1 million signatures by Friday to push Roblox to do more to protect our children and to prosecute predators. We need to keep our kids safe online. There is a growing issue in our country with
It's time to make our children safe. He called on Americans to sign a petition on his website. The goal is to get 1 million signatures by Friday to push Roblox to do more to protect our children and to prosecute predators. Here is the link to the actual, we're going to go to the site. Rokana, add your name, stand with us to protect kids and save Roblox. Roblox is at a crossroads. We are not going to stand by while kids are exploited online and powerful tech companies can do more to stop it. Sign if you agree. We need Roblox to do more to protect children, provide more support for parents, and strengthen law enforcement protocols that help bring predators to justice and give creators and developers a seat at the table. So that's the online petition that is circulating right now. If you're a parent or a Roblox user, Vigilant Fox says, I urge you to sign the petition and uninstall Roblox from your children's devices. Roblox has chosen to be a safe space for predators over children, and nothing teaches a company a lesson better than hitting them where it hurts, in their wallets. And it looks like we have something here. Yeah, if you're not comfortable with predators grooming your kids online, don't let your kids on Roblox. Sounds just like a predator gaslighting 101. But Roblox has other problems, we're finding out. Check this out. I'm going to scroll back for a minute, get you some more information that's going on. This just a few hours ago. Schlep is being taken down across Roblox, with tribute games being taken down in days. Yet I found a game called Public Shower Simulator that's been up for over a month. This isn't negligence. It's a complete lack of care for children on the platform. I don't know what is going on in that image, but it does not look like a healthy children's game. Public Shower Simulator. Disgusting. We're finding out also that there's actual casinos on Roblox with minimal ratings and millions of visits. You can buy currency for Robux, then gamble the currency. The game breaks the Wire Act, the Illegal Gambling Business Act, COPA, and FTC deception rules, just to name a few. Gambling with your Roblox money. What's that teaching your children? Also, we have this. Roblox is getting sued for the terms of service breaking Robux gambling sites. These sites have been wreaking havoc by luring players into gambling their Robux while promising the chance for big wins. Underage gambling is illegal in the United States, but interestingly, Roblox is getting sued for the actions of these sites. Here is the lawsuit. You can see it right here. Grace posted this 2 days ago. This was the worst document I've ever read and aptly describes the absolute negligence of Roblox. They know the solutions they could implement, but they choose to ignore them. Look at this legal case if you have the time. So we'll put this up. You can pause the screen if you want to read it closer. You can keep your players safe, but then it would be less of them on the platform. While children spend more hours on Roblox, they do not monetize as well because they are more constrained in their ability to spend. Roblox executives repeatedly emphasize their strategy of aging up the app to attract older users. So you can go ahead and you can see that for yourself. Roblox being sued by the state of Louisiana. Chappie is quite excited. New Orleans, WVUE, Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill announced Thursday that the state has filed a lawsuit against Roblox Corporation, accusing the #1 gaming site for children and teens of facilitating child sexual abuse material and failing to protect children from predators. Roblox allows these types of games for children. You will see naked avatars having sex in public bathroom games. Grums writes, I'm really struggling to find a benign reason why there are so many public shower and public bathroom experiences on Roblox. There is just pages of this stuff. How is this safe for kids? Asmund Gold says he heard an ad on the radio for anyone interested in joining a class action lawsuit against Roblox.
Lawsuit. Now, I also saw, like, obviously, like, I was driving to fucking, like, the gas station today, and they said on the radio that if your kid got groomed on Roblox, I'm not even kidding you, to call because there's, like, a class action lawsuit that's being filed against Roblox right now. Like, they are in a bad situation. This will class action. Yeah, exactly. Like, I heard this on the radio today.
Class action lawsuits being filed, states suing them, YouTubers speaking out, even AI-generated videos sending out warnings. If your child is on Roblox, please turn off private chats and watch them like a hawk. Roblox is plagued with pedos.
You look so pretty. I got a 27-year-old Roblox predator arrested in real life at gunpoint. He tried to meet up with our decoy in real life, but before this, he was saying some pretty crazy things.
You're so hot.
You look so pretty. We found this guy in a Roblox condo Discord server, and over the next 19 days, he would come up with a systematic plan to meet up with this person in real life.
Tiffany, I have a question.
But instead, Gideon flew out there.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of EDP Watch.
The Predator drove 3 hours.
I'm here at the gas station.
And what happened next didn't end well.
You came here to meet a 14-year-old girl. I'm telling Kara why you were here. Huh?
I'll save it for this video. But this is how.
So yeah, they're cracking down on Schlapp for busting these child predators on your kid's gaming app. Here's another one.
YouTuber who makes YouTube videos catch... And this is why you can't let your kids play Roblox. A YouTuber who makes YouTube videos catching predators in Roblox was just banned by Roblox, and they sent him a cease and desist letter threatening to sue him if he continues. Yeah, I don't know how many times that we have to tell you that your kids shouldn't be on the internet, but this is exactly why. There's really nothing left to say except fuck Roblox. Oh, and also fuck all the parents who don't watch their kids enough when they're on the internet. The internet is not for children. Hell, if I'm really going all the way with it, I would say fuck everybody who posts pictures of their children on the internet. Because first of all, they're not old enough to consent to that. Second of all, how do you know if they want to be online or not? You're just making that decision for them. And thirdly, and most importantly, you are putting them in direct harm's way to predators. Just because you aren't sick and twisted and can't picture people doing that doesn't mean they're not doing it. So, as the parent or guardian to that child, it is your job to think of those things and keep them safe. So, concluding thoughts, stop giving your kids internet access. There are plenty of internetless game consoles, and you can get them a flip phone that only dials mom, dad, and 911. You can do tons of things, but stop giving them internet access.
If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, this is not just another tech scandal. This is about your kids' innocence being stolen in digital playgrounds. Roblox has 380 million monthly users, and they've known about these predator problems for years, yet they've done nothing. Why? Because cleaning up their platform might hurt their bottom line. They'd rather count profits than protect children. Think about that. A company is literally choosing pedophiles over kids, and they're getting away with it because most parents don't even know what's happening behind those colorful avatars. So here's my question. Should Roblox face criminal charges for enabling child predators on their platform? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. And parents, check your kids' devices tonight. Turn off the private chats, better yet delete the app entirely until this company proves they give a damn about child safety. And if you stand for protecting kids, show it. Grab some Next News merch from our shop, linked down below at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Yep. I know all too well about Roblox. I know too much about it. No super chats to speak of, and the Madness likes turtles. Patricia Duff, yes. Eyes wide open, yes. Kibbs, yes. Alice Searcy, yes. Yes, but there was a time when it was a little bit edgy, but still mostly innocent. The one and only Ron the Don says yes. Karen Finley dropping the merch shop link. Thank you for that. These games companies like Roblox allow crimes like that take place on their sites need to be held accountable with expensive fines and charged as well. That will change their attitude. Blitz Rule says I had a program that would send me everything my kid did online. Stop giving them internet access. I didn't have internet access growing up. Michael says I warn my kids there are predators everywhere. Trust no one. Thank you, Karen. All right, let's get to our trivia answer. You guys said it was 2001 Grand Theft Auto. It was actually 1993. The answer was A. After Mortal Kombat, Congress held hearings on violent video games, leading to the ESRB rating system. Yeah, I was thinking Grand Theft Auto 2. But it was actually Mortal Kombat. Who knew? Okay, so we're going to move into TDS in Overdrive. But first, a historical trivia question. Which famous DC sandwich assault happened during the 1960s civil rights era? Was it A, LBJ's sandwich diplomacy, B, the Capitol cafeteria food fight, C, MLK's lunch counter protests, or D, Nixon's Mayo meltdown? All right, you guys can weigh in the chat and the comments down below, or in the poll, of course. We're going to get to the answer after this segment. TDS meltdown, Democrats losing their minds. They said Trump derangement syndrome wasn't real. They called it a right-wing conspiracy theory. Well, wait until you see what just happened in Washington. A federal agent was assaulted with a sandwich. A top Democrat advisor admitted on live TV that Trump's prosecutions were all fake. Media personalities having nervous breakdowns on air, and one political figure is demanding drug tests for senators who oppose them. The meltdowns are reaching levels we've never seen before, from Congress to cable news. The establishment is cracking under pressure, and what you're about to witness isn't normal political opposition. It's complete psychological collapse, and the most shocking part, they're not even trying to hide it anymore. So keep on watching. And while Democrats are having complete meltdowns and literally throwing food at federal agents, some Americans are staying strong and focused. Take Chuck Norris at 84 years old. He's got more composure and strength than these unhinged leftists half his age. I recently saw a video that he made. I was shocked. He's still working out, staying active, and his energy for his grandkids. How? He made one simple change. He says he feels like he's in his 50s while these Trump haters age themselves with pure rage. His wife started doing it. Feels 10 years younger. Chuck made a special video explaining his secret to staying strong while others fall apart. You can watch it at chuckdefense.com/next or click the link below. You will not believe how simple it is. And we thank Chuck Norris for sponsoring this report. So, Enrique Tarrio posting this in reaction to this leftist lunatic throwing a sandwich at a CBP officer. Enrique says he's going to eat a lot of sandwiches where he's going. Bologna sandwiches. CBP posting, next time you're hangry, just eat the sandwich.
Oh! 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 It's fucking done! It's fucking done!
I mean, the guy's got a pink shirt, skinny shorts, and decides to toss his Subway sandwich right in the chest of a CBP officer. He runs like a girl, too. I mean, what, to what end? Just eat the freaking sandwich, bro. And now you're going to go eat a lot of bologna. Colton Week says there's endless material here. And now we're learning the man accused of throwing the sandwich, a CPB agent in D.C., now facing federal assault charges. His name is Sean Charles Dunn. Used the Subway sandwich as a weapon to attack a federal officer deployed by President Trump on the streets of D.C. He's been charged with a felony assault D.C. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro said in a statement the police are not out there to get pushed around or beat up. So now he is facing federal charges for throwing a sandwich like a moron. And what do we have here? Defiant L's writing, sometimes I have trouble believing these people are actually serious. Bo Snurdly writing, yikes! Gotta love Bo. Check this out. This is a scene at the state capitol, public hearing, Assembly Committee on Education. Assembly Bill 100, designated sports teams operated by public-private schools based on sex of participants.
My pronouns are they, them, or at least that's what I share with people most often, but for this particular meeting, I will come out fully as saying that my pronouns are she, they, him. Now, I don't usually go into that because it becomes a quite interesting, delicate conversation about what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman. And I get that. That is a conversation that we don't generally have as young people or even as adults in our current culture. Fair enough. So I will simply say what I told my 60-year-old father, who was also born and raised in the Madison area, like myself. I asked him, do you know what it means to be a man? And to his credit, he said, no, I don't. And then I asked him, do you know what it means to be a woman? And again, to his credit, he said, no, I don't.
Yeah, seems like some pretty simple questions that could be answered. This person appears to be in Madison. I'm assuming Madison, Wisconsin. Yeah, that place is a liberal hellhole.
And then I looked at him and I said, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's where I land. I land at an understanding that my womanhood, as I was assigned at birth, does not come from my ability to produce children or to behave in a feminine way. And my manhood does not come in the form of my genitalia, for that can be lost too.
Okay, I'm not going to give that person any more airtime. Let's give somebody who cares airtime. President Trump taking down Pocahontas Elizabeth Warren in the Oval Office just a few hours ago.
Get into certain, it's so vicious what they do. Elizabeth Warren said she was an Indian. We call her Pocahontas. She's a liar. She lied her whole career. Based on the fact that she was an Indian, she was able to get into certain colleges, get certain jobs, get into certain universities to work there. She's a liar and a mean person. She's a nut job. I watched her the other night. She's all hopped up endorsing a communist in New York City. And she was all excited and jumping up and down. She's got to take a drug test. She really does. She's got to take a drug test. There's no way somebody can act that way and be normal. What she's done to our financial institutions, she destroys people. Do you know that you had a lot of great banks in the Midwest and banks that loaned to farmers and others, and they went out of business? She put them out of business. Stone cold mean. Banks that were open 150 years, family banks that supplied the farmers and manufacturers and others, and she put them out of business. She's a mean, horrible human being. Bernie, it's so vicious.
President Trump clearly not holding back on his criticisms of Elizabeth Warren, accusing her of being hopped up on drugs. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is now the acting head of Washington, D.C., had this to say: if you touch any law enforcement officer, we will come after you. I just learned that this defendant worked at the Department of Justice no longer. Not only is he fired, he's been charged with a felony. Oh, so this guy, pink shirt guy, pink shirt guy worked at the Department of Justice. What a moron. Well, at least we can say he is there no more. And speaking of the Department of Justice, President Trump has dropped a bombshell directing the Department of Justice to launch a full-scale investigation into Act Blue. Remember the O'Keefe Media Group investigation into Act Blue? Well, looks like their party's over. That's their fundraising platform for the Democrat Party over allegations of widespread election fraud and illicit foreign contributions.
Democrats are... Meanwhile, President Trump is directing the Justice Department to investigate Act Blue. This is a Democratic donation platform, and the focus as the allegations about illegal straw donors and foreign contributions. Mark Meredith is live in Washington with more. This has been brewing for a while, Mark. What do we need to know?
Dana, for years, you're right about this, but this is a big development. The White House is directing the Attorney General to investigate the Democratic Party's top fundraising platform. It's called Act Blue, and the president says he wants to know if foreign money is being donated to the group and then utilized to sway elections. Democrats are calling this probe a dangerous abuse of power. Act Blue is an enormous operation in Democratic politics. It's raised more than $16 billion since 2004. You may have seen the text pop up from candidates saying, please donate, go to the Act Blue website. Republicans use something similar called Win Red. There was a new memo signed on Thursday directing the Attorney General to investigate if foreign nationals are using the Act Blue platform to bypass campaign finance laws. Trump wants a report out in 6 months.
Meanwhile, President
6 months? I hope they get it sooner. Of course, if you recall, what Act Blue is accused of doing is using micro donations from individuals, actual real people. They just have their name on the list. They find their name. They create a bank account or a credit card. And they make small donations, $5 at a time, sometimes, 30 times over, to bypass the restrictions on maximum donations. And a lot of times these people have no idea what's happening. And speaking of justice, we have the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, Harmeet Dillon, announcing the Democrat is facing felony charges for throwing a Subway sandwich at federal officers, exposed as a DOJ contractor.
Of throwing a Subway sandwich.
You're telling me that the man in the salmon-colored shirt here is a DOJ contractor?
Yes, the man in the salmon-colored shirt with the effete gesture there of throwing a Subway sandwich was a DOJ contractor. He is no longer.
Incredible. And can you give us any further circumstance here? He's just attacking the police out of what? Blind rage, out of anger that they
solidarity
exist?
Let me tell you something. Yes. Woke leftists all over the United States have come to believe the rhetoric that somehow, he's a white man, clearly they're oppressors and they need to somehow pay penance for that. So they engage in stupid stunts like this, and that could have hurt somebody. That could have hit an officer in the eye and wounded them, or worse. Or he could have had a projectile in there. So we have zero tolerance for that kind of nonsense. Nobody should feel comfortable attacking our law enforcement. And, he's a moron and he'll pay the price for that.
You're telling me
maybe he should have just thrown that sandwich at a homeless person, gave them a meal. But now he's facing felony charges like a moron. Town Hall's writing that Mr. Bobblehead can't answer straightforward questions about Mondami's socialist policies. Mondami up in New York, gaining traction up there. CNBC asking him directly, where do you land on things like freezing rent, free buses, free food at supermarkets?
And what you just... Rams, don't try...
Hakeem Jeffries.
Rams, don't try to devastate
I understand
them,
that.
which is
I'm
what
just
the
curious
Republican plan is right now.
I'm curious where you land on things like, freezing rent, free buses, giving away, free food at supermarkets and the like, and what you just think of that idea and what it represents.
Listen, Zoran is going to have to make the case to the people of New York City, including in the neighborhoods that I represent, that these ideas, which are designed to address affordability in New York City, and that as a top-line effort is important, the cost...
Affordability? You're giving it away. What are you talking about?
The living is the number one issue here in the city, number one issue across the country. It's why Donald Trump's poll numbers are in the basement right now.
But do you agree with
but
those
he's gonna have to
approaches
defend them.
as a solution? Look, you and I agree. Affordability is this number one issue in New York. It's the number one issue in the country. And so he has done a great job of identifying that issue and articulating that issue. The question is how you attack that issue. And what I'm asking you is whether you agree with the solutions that he's offering.
Okay, first of all, Donald Trump is already attacking affordability. I mean, he is bringing prices down across the board. He's bringing record amounts of money into the United States. Prices are going down everywhere.
Here's what my solution would be, and I've said this directly to him, and will continue to say it to policymakers across the city, the state, and the country. We have a situation in New York City and across America where the demand for housing that is affordable greatly exceeds the supply. That's a problem. That imbalance is jamming people up, working class residents.
The demand for housing. Yeah, maybe if you didn't let 20 million illegals in last year, we wouldn't be having a problem with people.
Moderate income residents, middle class residents in New York City. If you're Rams, don't try to.
Yeah, whatever. Hakeem. Let's keep going. We got this guy. Oh, I love it. Let's go to Senator Kennedy. He's addressing Hakeem and Chuck Schumer.
Or is the mainstream wing of the party is scared to death of the loon wing. They won't speak up, and they don't stand for anything anymore. All they stand for is whatever is against whatever President Trump stands for. That's why we find ourselves in the extraordinary position of mainstream Democrats have now come out firmly and passionately in favor of crime in Washington, D.C. Why? Because Trump is trying to do something about it.
Chucky Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, they are, quote, minority leaders in name only. They'll never stand up to that wing, will they?
No, they could. And I don't mean any disrespect. I don't know Mr. Jeffries that well. I know Senator Schumer very well. So I say this with respect.
Wait for it. Here it comes.
Chuck and Hakeem need to go to Amazon, buy some testicles, and stand up to the loon wing of their party. And until they're willing to do that, I haven't heard Senator Schumer say anything bad about Mondami. I mean, the guy's a socialist.
He won't.
He's
they
a
won't.
Whack job.
Yeah, but they're afraid of the whack job. Can you explain something to me? I didn't know that Amazon sold testicles, Senator. I appreciate you educating our audience about that. I had no idea they sold that.
Sure.
I guess anything's for sale these days. They're very cheap.
You can buy anything on Amazon, Sean.
Apparently, I'm learning a lot tonight.
Okay, should we find out if Amazon sells testicles? Okay, we're gonna actually do this right now. We're gonna go to Amazon and see Amazon, and we're gonna look up and see already a customer, sign in. Okay, here we go. Logging in. Oh no. All right. This is probably going to screw up my entire shopping experience. Testicles. Testicle. All right. And let's see what kind of testicles they sell. Supreme Nutrition sheep testicle, fake silicone hanging testicle, giant micro plush toy testicles, humorous gag gift ornament, acrylic testicle crusher. What? Grass-fed beef testicles. Bike reflector LED rear light night essential cycling balls. Hot leathers blue balls keychain. Okay, I've had enough. You get the point, though, right? Oh, my goodness. So maybe Hakeem and Chuck will head on over there and take his advice. Here we have, I'm not even going to play this guy, but apparently a liberal man encouraging people to spit in Trump supporters' food. That's disgusting. And we have this fake news hack. Peter Baker, New York Times, a wannabe journalist suffering from severe Trump derangement syndrome, went on MSDNC to claim POTUS is making the U.S. like the kind of countries that Vladimir Putin would feel very comfortable in. Really?
The revisions, regimes in places like Russia rewrite history in order to suit their current political needs. Now, look, there has been this cyclical fight in the United States about how to define American history. Certainly, there are people out there, particularly people who support the president, who think that the revisions to American history to bring to light things that were less savory about our past, including the things that Gene's just talking about, had gone so far that we've lost sight of the things that make America special. And there is this push and pull among scholars, among people who are serious about this. But when it's the president of the United States dictating what the history should be, that, of course, brings to mind a different kind of history, a history of the kinds of countries where politicians are deciding what people should know rather than, historians and experts. And if you put this together with a president who's now planning to personally host the Kennedy Center honors, who's determining what kind of culture should be showcased himself personally, who's now sending American troops into the streets of Washington. All of these things together, hearken to a lot of people to the kind of countries that Vladimir Putin would feel very comfortable in. Regimes.
It seems like the typical talking point from a rabid leftist liberal on that platform. Here we have Fox News' Trace Gallagher. Actually, let's go to Caroline Levitt getting kicked off CNN after triggering CNN's Cassie Hunt.
President Trump, it takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently,
we're going to stop this interview if you're going to keep
President
attacking
Trump
my colleagues.
Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome to come back.
No, that was actually during the presidential campaign. Here we have Fox News' Trace Gallagher calling out MSNBC for fact-checking President Trump on D.C. crime figures, but omitting juvenile crime numbers.
Knock it down. MSNBC was fact-checking President Trump in real time without using real evidence. Every time Trump would put up a crime stat for Washington, D.C., MSNBC would knock it down. It's the old fact-check, reject, where you simply say not true, not true. But as MSNBC was saying that D.C. crime was down, they forgot to put up juvenile crime stats, as if underage crime doesn't count. Because a D.C. father whose child was murdered by a juvenile thinks the crime against his family is very real. And he
Let's keep going. We got a little bit more to get to here. Here is Ambassador Monica Crowley on those who are big mad about LA 28 under POTUS. Let them go stew in it. The rest of us patriotic Americans are excited.
Look, their hatred for President Trump is so all-consuming that they can't see these common sense and logical reasons for why the country should be celebrating having the Olympics. They're so poisoned by their hatred of the president. Look, the Olympic Games are anticipated to bring in about $18 billion in economic activity for the city of Los Angeles, for the state of California, for the United States. It's anticipated to generate about 90,000 full-time equivalent jobs for the American people in that city, state, and in our country. They cannot see past any of that, not to mention celebrating our incredible athletes that have worked their entire lives to get to this moment. So they're blinded by their ideology and by their hatred, and let them go stew in it. The rest of us patriotic Americans are so excited, enthusiastic about hosting the Summer Olympic Games, which we have not done since 1996, and it's all thanks to President Trump. Well,
if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is what happens when political hatred consumes your soul. A DOJ contractor throws a sandwich at a federal agent and gets charged with a felony. A Democrat strategist admits on CNN that Trump's convictions were fake political theater. Media personalities literally shake with rage on live TV. They're not just opposing Trump anymore. They're losing their grip on reality. And here's the kicker. While they're having mental breakdowns, Trump's actually fixing the country. Crime's dropping in D.C., borders getting secured, the economy's improving. Their hysteria is directly proportional to his success. So here's my question for you. Do you think the Democrats will ever recover from their Trump derangement syndrome, or is it just a permanent diagnosis? Drop a yes or a no in the comments below. The meltdowns are only getting worse, folks. And if you want to trigger more liberal tears, you can check out our merch shop. Nothing sends them over the edge like American pride at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. All right. No new super chats to speak of at the moment. Karen says, bring back discipline. Brand 47, they are cooker. Cindy says, no, it's permanent. Brandon, I could be wrong. It's been a while since I watched a documentary on them. Cooked, haha. It's permanent TDS for Democrats. Wait, did I actually state it in chat? I don't know what you said, Jeremy. It's on the record now. James says, no. Love my alligator shirt, says Alice. All right. Pothead says, I am not giving them my cheese and crackers. All right, let's find out what's going on with the trivia answer. You guys said it was MLK's lunch counter protests. Peaceful sit-ins, often involving food, being thrown at protesters by angry segregationists. Okay, now we're going to go into what's happening with Gavin Newsom over on the left coast. But first, a historical trivia question. In 2003, how many California voters signed a petition to recall Governor Gray Davis? Was it A, 1.6 million angry voters? B, 12 people from Sacramento? C, just Arnold and his gym buddies? Or D, every single Enron victim? You can answer that in the chat or in the comment or in the poll. We're going to get your answer after this segment. California is burning. Farmers are begging for water and crime is out of control. So what's Governor Gavin Newsom focusing on? Rigging congressional districts to steal power from voters. It's not speculation. He just actually announced it publicly while dumping fresh water into the ocean and watching his state collapse. Newsom's launching an all-out assault on our republic itself. But that's not even the worst part. What we've discovered about where California is getting its oil is going to blow your mind. There is a Russia connection nobody's talking about. And the farmers, they're about to expose something that could end Newsom's career forever. This is bigger than just bad governance. This is about raw power, foreign influence, and the systematic destruction of America's largest state. So stay tuned. So while Newsom lets California collapse, smart Californians are protecting what they have worked for. As we age, our bodies need support, just like our savings need protection from politicians who'd rather play power games than serve citizens. That's why I've relied on ageless multi-collagen for years. It includes 5 types of collagen from 4 premium sources, helping fight the visible stress of living under a failed leadership. When you're watching your state crumble, stress shows on your face, wrinkles, sagging skin, premature aging. Well, ageless multi-collagen helps combat that, optimizing skin hydration and elasticity. Plus, every order feeds a hungry child through NoKidHungry.org. Doing more good than Newsom ever has. While politicians destroy California, take care of yourself. Get 51% off at healthwithgary.com. Don't let their failures age you prematurely. Now, here was the scene right outside of Gavin Newsom's venue today. Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino just exposed Gavin Newsom right outside his venue. A mic drop moment. Watch this.
Take that one to the bank.
What happened?
We're here making Los Angeles a safer place since we won't have politicians that'll do that. we do that ourselves. So that's what we're here today. As you can see, already making it a safer place. We're glad to be here, not going anywhere.
And the governor's inside right there.
I don't know where he's at.
He's about 100 feet behind us. Do you have any comment from him or anything?
Again,
any message?
We're making Los Angeles and California a safer place. We're going to continue to do that, and they can take that one to the bank and cash it.
What happened?
No, we're here making
scorching Gavin Newsom. Here's a meme I saw today I wanted to share with you. Gotta love the memes. I live for the memes. The Franzer memes made this. Check this out.
I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I received in the mail a Trump 2028 hat. I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I received in the mail a Trump 2028 hat. I wasn't exaggerating.
Of course, President Trump dropping a Trump 2028 hat on a visualization of Gavin Newsom. Karen Bass is triggered, having a complete meltdown after federal agents conducted a raid right outside of Governor Gavin Newsom's event in Los Angeles.
Not believe that this just happened to be a coincidence.
There is no way this was a coincidence. This was widely publicized that the governor and many of our other elected officials were having a press conference here to talk about redistricting, and they decided they were going to come and thumb their nose in front of the governor's face. Why would you do that? That is unbelievably disrespectful. It's a provocative act. They're talking about disorder in Los Angeles, and they are the source of the disorder in Los Angeles right now. This is just completely unacceptable. This is a administration, this is a Customs and Border Patrol that has gone amok. This absolutely has to stop. There was no danger here. There was no need to detain anyone here. And there was certainly no need to have a provocative act right here where the governor is having a press conference.
Not believe that this just happened to be a coincidence.
There is no way this was a coincidence.
She is triggered. She is triggered. Here we got this. Farmers in California still not receiving water. Almond growers, yes. Gavin Newsom still dumping fresh water into the ocean rather than utilizing the water.
Let the water... I'm watching President Trump speak right now, and I really don't know if he's aware or not, but this is what's going on in California. So he went ahead and sent in the military to let the water flow from up north all the way to Southern California. Well, Mr. President, let me go ahead and tell you something, and I feel that you need to go ahead and have your administration step in. So what Gavin Newsom is doing is that he's redirecting all that water to what? All the almond farms. You know what they're actually telling farmers now in Northern California? And this is an attack on the farmers in California. They're telling them, oh, we're going to go ahead and shut your irrigation system down. Why? Why would you do that? Simply just put, almonds are the #1 seller for the economy of California. Plain simple and put. The rest of it, they're still throwing it out into the middle of the ocean. They don't care. Gavin Newsom does not care. So, cities like LA, or even, you look at Big Bear, you look at all these other places that should have reservoirs with just an abundant amount of water coming down from the north. People in the north, the farmers, are being attacked right now, telling that, oh, your irrigation's going to go ahead and be redirected. You're not going to get water towards your farm anymore. Wow. And it's forcing generations of families of farmers out of business in the state of California. Why? Because they're redirecting.
And that is Gavin Newsom for you. Gavin Newsom attacking President Trump by labeling him a failed president. Media Research Center writes, apparently a booming economy and all-time low border crossings are a failure. That's according to Gavin.
Ends. They want to rig these elections, and they want the power that gerrymandering provides, because they know what Donald Trump knows. He's going to lose the midterms. He knows de facto his presidency ends in 17 months when Speaker Jeffries is back in office. He knows it. Why else? Why else would you try to rig the system? Why else would you make the phone call? He's a failed president.
Not a failed president. He's actually a smart president. And that's why Texas is doing what they are doing, because we know what happens when the Democrats take control of the House. We're going to have impeachment proceedings. They're going to drown this presidency over and over again. Uh-oh. MAGA Voice writes, watch how nervous Adam Schiff is at Gavin Newsom's rally. He knows what's coming.
Worth less. And we have come to learn, much to our shock and astonishment, that this thing we call democracy is fragile. And now we are on the precipice of another great threat to our democracy, and that is this effort by Donald Trump and Republicans in Texas to take people's vote away, to make the votes of those in California worth less, by taking lines in Texas that are already, and we...
Gavin Newsom talking about a threat to democracy. That's all, Adam Schiff talking about Trump being a threat to democracy. It's Adam Schiff who has been lying to the American people and participating in the overthrow of a president. Media Lies writes, California Union President David Huerta claims that Trump is trying to disenfranchise voters permanently by pushing for redistricting in red states.
With all the... And we will continue to defend our city. We will continue to defend our state. We will continue to defend our families, and we continue to defend this democracy. With all the power of nonviolent action and with the power of our vote, we have no intention to let up at all in this effort. We must have a response to those who choose to do this, and we cannot allow the voters in this country to be disenfranchised, perhaps permanently, by the actions of an authoritarian. SEIU members care too much about fairness, about our right to vote.
Yeah, sure. Keep crying. Keep crying. This is what California Governor Newsom and Mayor of LA Bass are doing to California, destroying California on purpose.
Because I knew every... Do you know who's buying up all of the property in the LA fire zones? It's the Chinese. And I've avoided saying this for a while because I knew everybody would call me a racist. But that's just the fact of the matter. I work in both areas daily, both Pacific Palisades and Altadena. And the people driving around looking at the properties to buy them are all Chinese nationals. And I've even had a few of them call me saying, hey, we're buying 5 or 6 lots. Can you build us spec houses? And go ahead, call me a racist. But I think it's sad that California and LA, with their slow reaction time and incompetence, is going to turn both Altadena and Pacific Palisades into the type of neighborhoods where you drive down and all of the signage is in Chinese, you can't read it, you can't understand it. Here in America, because of incompetence. Do you know who's buying up all of the property in the LA fire zone?
China buying up California property. Who didn't see that coming? Here is gerrymandering in the apartment. How funny.
It doesn't even make ridiculous. You said I need to start taking care of myself. You are absurd. I'm marking what is mine. You're gerrymandering the apartment. It doesn't even make sense. These are my highly frequented areas. This is my chair. God. This chair was promised to my family 30 years ago. We bought it off Facebook Marketplace last month. This is ridiculous. Come on, you gerrymandered the TV. Just the Netflix icon. That's my ex-girlfriend's account. I still have the login. You don't need to do the chips. You've eaten my food before. This is leading into my room. That's an annex. Or don't look at it. Come on. Are you kidding me? What? The lotion? What is that? Okay, that's where I sit.
Hey, what's going on in here?
Hey babe, Chris is marking his territory in the apartment.
Oh, it's so weird.
Hey, what the hell is that? Son of a bitch! That's my girlfriend! I'm looking to redistrict it!
Redistricting. Nice skit. But it's nothing to laugh about. Governor Newsom, California leaders make major announcement on state redistricting. A whole 1-hour stream. Let's check in with Mr. Wonderful, saying, don't fall for the ridiculous lies and propaganda of Gavin Newsom.
Cisco, which is California is a dumpster fire. And sadly,
It is a dumpster fire. It's tragic what happened here. Gross mismanagement. We started talking about this with San Francisco, which is a war zone. And now LA, before this, was riddled with crime, people walking in and out of the stores, just stealing stuff. You've documented that forever. It is time for change. Gavin Newsom is a terrible manager. He is the Justin Trudeau of California. He's horrific. And obviously, people should want to make a change and hire somebody else. But I think it goes the other way. I think they're so tired of the rhetoric and the policy and the taxes and the mismanagement. You know, just watching that woman talk about, it's all over the internet now, where is the water pressure in my fire hydrant, to Gavin Newsom. And he says, it's a local thing. You can't say that when you're a politician. You have to own the problem. He doesn't even understand that. Time for him to get removed from office immediately.
That's something I can get behind as well. Gavin Newsom will officially seek to gerrymander California's U.S. House map before 2026 to ensure Republicans can't hold the House for President Trump. Charlie Kirk on the Democrats' redistricting temper tantrums.
Came on my show, and there's a contradiction in everything the Democrats are doing. They're saying gerrymandering is bad, but we're going to now gerrymander in response. And understand, they've used gerrymandering for years, that any sort of reciprocity from the Republican Party. And now finally we have Texas that's saying, you know what, we want to have more minority representative districts. Governor Abbott came on my show and he talked about, hey, this map actually gives a bigger voice to Hispanic Americans in Texas. Look, Gavin Newsom should not be taken seriously with this, but it goes to show that these major Democrat states are run purely for power politics, not the betterment of the citizens of their states. There's a
Well said, Charlie. Well said. Here's more. Gavin Newsom threatening to end the Trump presidency like he did homelessness and raw sewage from Mexico and retail theft. What?
California, to make California Governor Gavin Newsom is taking aim at President Trump in the fight over redrawing congressional maps. Newsom is now promising to redraw the congressional map of California to make up for any Republican gains in red states like Texas. He sent a letter to Trump on Monday giving him 24 hours to tell Republican governors to stand down. And last night, Newsom fired off a Trump-style post in all caps saying, Donald Taco Trump, as many call him, missed the deadline. California will now draw new, more beautiful maps. They will be historic as they will end the Trump presidency. Dems take back the House. No immediate response from Trump.
Well, if you recall, Governor Abbott said if Gavin Newsom wants to try that he's going to go ahead and he is going to redistrict Texas again to introduce 10 new districts. So Gavin Newsom can scream and cry all he wants, but we're going to fight fire with fire. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So Gavin Newsom just showed America what Democrats really care about: power, not people. While farmers beg for water, he dumps it in the ocean. While families flee crime, he focuses on rigging elections. And now we find out that California is importing Russian oil while Newsom undermines Trump's Ukraine peace efforts. This is not incompetence, it's sabotage. He's literally destroying California to maintain political control. The man who claims he ends homelessness while tent cities explode? Who says he fixed crime while businesses flee? Who promises prosperity while taxing residents into poverty? Now he wants to gerrymander districts to block voters' will. So here's my question. Should the federal government intervene to stop Newsom's assault on our republic? Drop a yes or no in the comments below. Let's continue the conversation, because this is what one-party rule looks like, folks. And if you're as disgusted as I am, show it and grab some patriotic gear from our shop. Let them know that we are not backing down. Okay, Super Chats seem a little bit light today. Looks like the suppression algorithm is in full swing on our YouTube channel today. You can see by the numbers. Normally much, much bigger and more beautiful numbers. Tyson Curie, Newsom needs to be put in jail. He's purposely trying to hurt Californians and America. Enough is enough from this pathological liar. What's up, Nephilim Gaming? Have some squeezed cheese on Ritz crackers with stuff olive with mince. That sounds delicious. Our boy, not late, been here since the beginning, just silent, which by the way is freaking hard. Grabbing Newscomb. All right, let's check out our trivia answer. It was 1.6 million angry voters. You got that right. $1.6 million angry voters. The recall succeeded with 1.6 million signatures, leading to Schwarzenegger's victory as the governor, or governator. We're moving into our fifth topic, the shakeup at the Smithsonian by Donald Trump. But first, some historical trivia. Which president first tried to reform the Smithsonian's political bias? Was it A, Nixon, after the Watergate exhibit? B, Reagan versus liberal curators? C, Bush battling bias displays? Or D, Lincoln's log cabin controversy? We're going to find out after this segment. You can drop an answer in the poll, in the comments, or in the chat down below. Let's find out what's going on at the Smithsonian. Lots happening here. For decades, America's most treasured museums have been hijacked by radical leftists pushing anti-American propaganda on millions of visitors. Now, President Trump just dropped the hammer on the entire Smithsonian institution. Every exhibit, every label, every program is now under review. And what they're finding is going to shock you. We're talking about your tax dollars funding displays that literally attack American values. Museums, they're supposed to celebrate our history. Instead, they tear it down. But the days of woke indoctrination are over. Vice President J.D. Vance himself is leading the charge to cut funding from any program that's undermining our nation. And of course, the left is screaming about censorship, but the truth? This is about reclaiming our culture from people who hate everything America stands for. And the evidence is absolutely damning. Wait till you see this. Now, while Trump reclaims our cultural institutions from those who tear down America, it's time to reclaim our health from the damage their policies have caused. Years of stress from watching our museums push anti-American propaganda does take a physical toll. You're getting older, I'm getting older. Until science reverses aging, we face joint pain from carrying the weight of defending our values. In most supplements, promising miracles, they don't work. But there is one thing that has stood the test of time. It's turmeric. Standard turmeric barely absorbs, making it useless, but Dr. Josh Levitt created Golden Revive Plus using BCM95 curcumin, absorbing 200 times better. Combined with boswellia, magnesium, and bromelain, it rebuilds cartilage and restores movement. While Trump restores our institutions, restore your body. Visit goldenrevive.com/NNN for your discount. Caroline Levitt coming out just a few hours ago, and she had this to post. She says, Democrats who cheered the toppling of statues of American heroes such as Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and Teddy Roosevelt in 2020 are suddenly deeply concerned that the Trump administration is seeking to curate the Smithsonian Museum to better express American exceptionalism. She was, quote, tweeting Fox News opinion. David Marcus has a story. Statue-toppling phonies worry that Trump is erasing history. Well, if there's anyone that knows anything about erasing history, it would be the Democrats, renaming our institutions, taking George Washington's name off of schools, removing Thomas Jefferson from sacred halls. Real America's Voice pointing out that Trump is doing what Reagan didn't, seizing institutions from the left. Here is Roger Kimball.
Jesus Christ. The Trump revolution will mean nothing if we don't deconstruct the administrative state and destroy the deep state in the process and seize the cultural institutions in this country and get them back to American greatness, make them make those institutions great again. That's great what this is about, yes. Roger Kimball. You laid out the blueprint 25 years ago of how the left had done it. Tell us how they did it and how Trump is reversing this by seizing these institutions. And from Maggie Haberman to MSNBC, they are beyond throwing the toys out of the pram. They're infuriated that the populist movement has seized control here, sir.
Yes. Well, the little clip you showed at the beginning of the person who described what's going on at the Smithsonian as Stalinist, I think that tells you a lot of what you need to know. They are right to be worried. They were right to be panicked by the prospect of the return of Donald Trump because they knew that his populist counter-revolution would change everything. It would change not just the political texture of Washington, D.C., it would also change the institutional footprint and the institutional identity of this country. And it's this that Trump is doing right now with places like the Kennedy Center and the Smithsonian that distinguishes him from other great presidents, even Ronald Reagan. Reagan, for all of his greatness, and I'm a fan of Ronald Reagan, he ended the Cold War and so on, it unleashed the greatest accumulation of wealth in history. He did a lot of good things. But the important thing that he didn't do, that Donald Trump is doing, is he made nary a dent in the institutional life of the country. Those institutions that are occupied by the self-appointed elite, because it is those institutions, the universities and places like the Smithsonian and the Kennedy Center, those institutions that transmit the identity of the culture. And if you have those institutions captive by the left, by people who hate America, who hate normality, who hate the good, the true, and the beautiful, and who seek to transform the identity of the country into something that is that celebrates, for example, George Floyd, an exhibition at a film at the Smithsonian. It says George Floyd is comparable. His death was comparable to the death of Jesus Christ. Now, what does that mean? At the Smithsonian, when they celebrate women, they're careful also to celebrate so-called trans women. That is to say, men pretending to be women. This is not what most Americans want, and it's Trump's genius to be able to change those institutions.
Wow. Christopher Calvin Reed, Trump's epic Smithsonian smackdown, ripping out the woke left's anti-American hate from commie-run cultural institutions to restore patriotism and American pride. The White House has dropped a bombshell, ordering a full-scale review of every Smithsonian exhibition, label, website, and program to torch divisive anti-American rhetoric and realign with red-blooded ideals that built this nation. Why should your hard-earned tax dollars fund woke guilt trips that demonize our history? They shouldn't. President Trump gets it. Museums shape minds, and the left's been weaponizing them since the 60s to churn out America-hating drones. No more. The cleanup mandates scrapping race-based propaganda, ensuring exhibits for America's 250th birthday celebrate our achievements, unity, and freedom. Curators, they're getting grilled to expose their biased cherry-picked narratives. The left captured our cultural strongholds, museums, schools, universities to poison the next generation. Trump's fighting back, reclaiming these spaces for regular Americans who love the country. If our kids are taught to despise America, we are done. If they're taught to cherish it, we thrive. This is not just a museum purge, it's a cultural reclamation. Trump's handing us back our history, our pride, and our legacy. The Smithsonian is just the start. Get ready for a patriotic renaissance. And here we have a New York Post headline. GOP Senator Jim Banks introduces bill banning wokeness, divisive narratives as Smithsonian museums stop letting activists rewrite our past. Here we have this. This is a letter to the Smithsonian from the White House posted on their briefings and statement page. Internal review of Smithsonian exhibits and materials. This week, Trump's White House ordered an internal review of every Smithsonian museum, a sweeping mandate covering exhibitions, archives, educational materials, even the institution's public messaging. Officially, the goal is to strip away improper ideology from the Biden years and restore truth and sanity to America's history. But could this be more than just a cultural cleanup? For over a century, The Smithsonian has been accused of acting as a gatekeeper of the official narrative, deciding not only which artifacts and discoveries are shown, but which quietly disappear also. From reports of giant skeletons unearthed in North America, you've heard about that, to artifacts suggesting contact between the Old and New Worlds long before Columbus, to anomalous finds that hint at advanced pre-flood civilizations, lost technologies, or even the secrets of Antarctica. The Smithsonian has been at the center of countless allegations of historical censorship. The Smithsonian is effectively the equivalent of Agent Smith in The Matrix, tirelessly protecting the system, making sure the story never glitches and the public never sees the cracks. And now with this review, the question is whether we are finally going to open the vault to let suppressed truths finally see the light of day. Have you ever researched the giants that have been discovered, the giant skeletons? So, I mean, you can look it up. There's extensive documentation that shows giant skeletons going, they were found, going to the Smithsonian, never to be seen again. Discovery made and then disappeared. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Now with this review, the question is whether we're finally going to open the vault to let suppressed truth finally see the light of day. Let's not forget that beneath the Smithsonian's feet lies an extensive network of underground tunnels officially described as primarily for staff use and practical purposes. One notable tunnel built in 1909 links the Smithsonian Castle to the National Museum of Natural History. Others connect the castle to the Freer Gallery, Sackler Gallery, National Museum of African Art, and the Arts and Industries Building, with an additional tunnel linking the Sackler and Freer by 1989. Are these just logistical conveniences and relics of old infrastructure, or do they hint at deeper stories running beneath the surface? With America's 250th anniversary less than a year away, this review could be the moment, not just to change how we tell our history, but to decide what history is finally allowed to be told. Tunnels under the Smithsonian. Sounds like something out of a movie. This is great. Loams writes, the Smithsonian is a nightmare of DEI core. It needs to be totally gutted of all its leadership. Here's a whiteness pamphlet that they produced in 2020. The aspects and assumptions of whiteness and white culture in the United States. Rugged individualism. The individual is the primary unit. Self-reliance, independence, and autonomy, highly valued. Rewarded. Individuals assumed to be in control of their environment. You get what you deserve. What? Look at this. What is white culture? How disgusting. But that's what they're producing over there. Let's listen to Glitter Me Allison, I guess is the TikTok user's name here.
Review of Smithsonian. Well, it looks like the Demo-crash-outs are at it again. And this time, it's about the Smithsonian. In this totally biased headline from ABC, we read, White House to conduct review of Smithsonian Museum exhibitions to ensure they fit with Trump's view of American history. Oh no, what could his view of American history possibly entail? In a letter to Lonnie Bunch, the secretary of the Smithsonian Institution, the White House writes that it wants to ensure that the museums reflect the unity, progress, and enduring values of the American story. The nerve! As a side note, these up here are the museums that they will be taking a look at. So, there's that. So who is it? Who's crashing out? Well, I'll tell you. It's Tim Walz. He said, if you're going to erase history, you're on the wrong side of it. Huh? Weren't the Democrats the ones that tore down all the statues and made us change the cover of the Lady on the Land O'Lakes butter and made Dolly Parton change the Dixie Stampede to Dolly Stampede? Wasn't that you guys? Right? And now you're worried about changing history, changing the narrative. So the irony here is not lost on me, Tim Walz. Well, it looks like the Demo-crash-outs are at it again.
At it again. Here's Jillian Michaels talking circles around Julie Roginski, Abby Phillip, and Congressman Richie Torres.
Appropriate for the Smithsonian He's gone into the Smithsonian, and he's effectively now has some random person deciding what is appropriate for the Smithsonian to teach in terms of American history, things that don't offend parts of the MAGA base, right? So we're now literally reviewing parts of American history and parts of American culture to make sure it comports with dear leader and what the MAGA
Can we
organization
address
wants.
some of those things that are in there? Because have you looked at some of the things that are being reviewed?
Yeah, slavery was a bad thing that was to talk about.
Okay.
Like,
he's not whitewashing slavery. So
he's not?
He's not. No,
okay.
He's not. And you cannot tie imperialism and racism and slavery to just one race, which is pretty much what every single exhibit does. But let's talk about the fact that when you look at slavery, let's talk about the fact that
slavery in America was.
Do you realize that only less than 2% of white Americans owned slaves?
But it was a system of white supremacy.
You realize that slavery is thousands of years old?
White people were
Do you know
the slave
who
owners.
was the first race to
I didn't
try
realize
to
this was
end
controversial.
slavery? Well, what's controversial?
I'm very surprised.
This is an extraordinary exercise in historical revisionism.
I'm really
Historical
surprised.
revisionism. Do you realize that?
Jillian, I'm surprised that you're trying to litigate who was the beneficiary of slavery and
I'm
who
not.
was not.
What I'm trying to tell you is
in
that
the context of American history. In the context of American history, what are you saying is incorrect by saying that it was white people oppressing black people?
Every single thing is like, oh, no, this is all because white people bad. And that's just not the truth. Like, for example, every single exhibit, I have a list of every single one. Like, people migrated from Cuba because white people bad. Not because of Castro. Yes, no, it's in there. That's what I'm saying. You don't actually know what's in there. Do you know that when you walk in the front door, the first thing you see is the gay flag?
Jillian, you have a lot of stuff in front of you.
Yeah, I do,
What
because I don't, because here's the thing.
are you talking about?
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Yeah, please.
There's one called Change Your Game, right? This has been an installation there. Is gender testing fair in sports? Does that, and then it goes on to talk about how it's complex to do gender testing in sports. It's not complex. It's basic science. That's untrue. It's XX chromosome, XY chromosome. That's sports. Is it fair to have biological men competing against biological women in sports? No. But why is this in the Smithsonian? So it's been completely captured.
First of all, I don't.
And it's totally partisan.
First of all, we don't have time to litigate all of this.
Of course we don't, because then you're going to lose the argument. Everything is racialized, just like you're trying to do to me now.
Excuse me.
It's like, I can't believe you're trying to suggest, that slavery
just to be clear, you brought up race.
No,
this was a conversation about the arts, and you brought up race.
It isn't.
You brought up.
But the whole point of this is that the issue
you brought up slavery, and you brought up the question of whether. You brought up the question of whether or not slavery in the United States is about race. The answer is yes.
Of course. I did not say
in the United States
don't straw man my argument
race.
Because that's not what I said.
So what are you
brought
talking
up
about?
Slavery. And what I was talking about is that this isn't really about that. When you make every single exhibit about white imperialism when it isn't relevant at all, that is a problem. So when you're talking about Cubans leaving Cuba and you make it about white people bad, that's not accurate.
Can I just say, zooming
that's
out,
my point.
All right, we're going to move on.
I was saying on the arts thing, I think why this is.
He's gone into the Smithsonian, and he's effectively now has some random person deciding what is.
If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. This is cultural warfare at its finest. For years, the left captured our museums, our schools, our institutions, force-feeding poison to our children disguised as education. They published pamphlets attacking whiteness. They erased American heroes while elevating America's critics. They turned places meant to inspire patriotism into indoctrination centers. Well, that sleeping giant just woke up. Trump isn't just reviewing the Smithsonian. He's reclaiming American culture from the Marxists who stole it. And watch them squeal. The same people who cheered when mobs tore down statues are now crying about changing history. The hypocrisy is breathtaking. So here's my question. Should Trump expand this review to every federally funded cultural institution in America? Yes or no? Let me know your thoughts below. This is how you drain the real swamp. Not just the political one, but the cultural cesspool poisoning young minds. And show where you stand. And check out our American Badass series in the merch shop, linked down below. I'm not sure why Todd was calling me in the middle of a segment, but Okay, I'm calling you, Todd. What? I don't know what way you. I'm not sure what happened here. Okay. Anyway, let's get to our. Oh, we have a super chat from Nephilim Gaming. Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Thank you for that. Nephilim Gaming, $4.99. All right, let's check in with our trivia answer. Still trying to figure out why I'm getting a phone call from Todd in the middle of the show, in the middle of the segment. Anyway, let's see what you guys said here. You said Reagan versus liberal curators, and you were correct. Oh, here we go. Hey. Reagan tried to reform museum bias in the 80s, but faced massive resistance from the entrenched staff. So that's a show, Patriots, and what a show we witnessed today. Not just news, it's history unfolding before our eyes. From the streets of D.C. to the halls of the Smithsonian, President Trump is doing what nobody thought possible. He's actually keeping his promises, and the establishment can't handle it. So think about what we just covered. Military vehicles rolling through Washington, restoring order that Democrats let collapse for decades. One lifelong resident said it best, she's never seen violence this bad, with 3-year-olds getting shot. Now Trump's fixing it overnight. Same politicians who said nothing could be done are watching bulldozers clear camps and crime rates plummet. Then there's Roblox. 380 million users, and they're protecting predators over children. Parents are discovering horror shows disguised as games, while Congress finally demands action. And one of their biggest stars just quit in disgust. Now, this isn't some obscure platform. This is where your kids play every day online. And the Trump derangement syndrome has reached new peaks of insanity. A DOJ contractor assaulting a federal agent with a sandwich and gets hit with felony charges. Democrat strategists admit on CNN that Trump's prosecutions were political theater. They're not even pretending anymore. They're just melting down in real time. And out in California, Newsom's fiddling while Rome burns. Farmers beg for water while he dumps it in the ocean. He's importing Russian oil while undermining Trump's peace efforts. His solution, gerrymander a congressional district to steal democracy, to steal our republic from voters. This is what a one-party rule looks like, folks. And the Smithsonian? Trump, J.D. Vance, gutting decades of anti-American propaganda from our national museums. The same leftists who cheered when mobs tore down statues are crying because Trump wants museums to actually celebrate America. The irony would be funny if it wasn't so pathetic. So to everyone who sent in Super Chats and Rumble Rants, you're the backbone of independent media, and your support keeps us free from corporate control. Your comments fuel the movement. You are not just viewers, you are digital soldiers in the information war. So tell a friend about the Raw feed. Share the clips. Hit up our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com and wear your values proudly. Whether it's Alligator Alcatraz, President Autopen, or American Badass Series, show the world that you are awake, not woke, and fighting back. The establishment thought they could silence us. They thought they could demoralize us. They thought we'd give up. Well, they were wrong, dead wrong, because we're just getting started. So thank you for joining the Raw feed today. Keep fighting, keep sharing, and keep speaking truth. Tomorrow we'll be back with more explosive revelations they don't want you to see. This is Gary Franchi reminding you, stay strong, stay free, and we'll see you in the next show.